The Baltimore Ravens are secretly pulling off a front office masterclass that will absolutely wreck the rest of the NFL, and nobody is talking about the insane, freak of nature rookie they are about to pair with Lamar Jackson to create an unstoppable offense. Please like and subscribe my channel. Are you ready to see opposing defenses literally give up before the ball is even snapped? Because the Ravens are constructing a roster so terrifying that it feels like a cheat code. This is hands down the most crucial week of the entire football calendar, and Baltimore is making massive moves that could completely rewrite franchise history. We are talking about adding a devastating pass catcher who has opposing cornerbacks shaking in their cleats, combined with a total visual overhaul that has been locked in a vault for years. The hidden gem: imagine finding a pure gold bar sitting right in the middle of the street, but every single person walking by just ignores it. That is exactly what is happening with former Arizona State wide receiver Jordyn Tyson. We are talking about an absolute alpha on the field, a guy coached up by a legendary Super Bowl MVP, and someone who has every single tool to be a true number one receiver in this league. But because of a brutal string of injuries, the mainstream media and lazy scouts are leaving him completely off their radar. Their absolute disaster of an evaluation is going to be Baltimore's ultimate gain. Jordyn Tyson is a total warrior. He grew up playing ball down in Texas, took his talents to Colorado, and eventually landed at Arizona State. No matter where he went, he instantly proved he was built entirely different from the rest of the pack. But his game truly went nuclear when he got to work under the legendary Hines Ward. We all know Ward was one of the toughest, most physical receivers to ever put on a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Ward basically took Tyson under his wing and unlocked a completely new level of sheer dominance. In a recent interview, Ward said Tyson absolutely despises losing. If a defensive back manages to beat him on a single rep during Tuesday practice, Tyson will spend the rest of the entire afternoon furiously brooding over it. He takes every single route personally. That psychotic, hyper-competitive mentality is exactly what turns average football players into elite NFL superstars. Just look at the raw numbers from his 2025 campaign. Tyson snatched 61 catches for 701 yards and snagged 8 touchdowns. And here is the craziest part. He put up those massive numbers while being the absolute focal point of a totally rebuilding college team. Defenses knew the ball was coming to him, and they still could not stop him. Standing tall at 6'3" and weighing in at a rock-solid 225 pounds, this kid is a matchup nightmare. He can easily line up out wide, shift into the slot, or play completely off the line of scrimmage. Now, he might not be an Olympic track star when it comes to pure straight-line sprinting, but his football IQ, his elite route-running savvy, and his absolute refusal to go down on first contact make him a terrifying weapon. He plays with a level of physicality that simply cannot be taught. But we have to talk about the massive elephant in the room. Why is he dropping on draft boards? The injury history is genuinely terrifying. Back in 2022, he suffered a total catastrophe, rupturing all 3 major ligaments in his knee. It was the kind of injury that ends careers. Then, in 2024, he shattered his collarbone. And if that was not enough bad luck, a severe thigh injury completely wiped out his combined performance in 2025. Because of this dark cloud of medical red flags, scouts are terrified. Most still project him as a first-round talent, but they attach a giant asterisk next to his name. For the Ravens, this is a calculated risk that could yield an unbelievable reward. They desperately need a reliable, physical partner on the outside to take the pressure off Zay Flowers. Jordyn Tyson could be the exact piece of the puzzle Lamar Jackson needs to orchestrate a flawless, fully operational offense. But wait until you hear what the Ravens are planning to do at the tight end position, because this next prospect might actually break the league. The tight end nightmare. If you thought adding Jordyn Tyson was a bold move, just wait until you see the absolute athletic freak the Ravens are targeting next. We are talking about Kenyon Sadiq, a 21-year-old superstar out of Oregon who is already being hailed as the unquestioned best tight end in the entire 2025 draft class. The big debate echoing through the halls in Baltimore right now is simple. Do you pull the trigger and spend the 14th overall pick on him? When you look at his combined numbers, it feels like a fake video game character. Sadiq stepped onto the turf and blazed a jaw-dropping 4.39-second 40-yard dash. Let that sink in. That is the fastest time recorded by any tight end in the last 22 years. We are talking about elite wide receiver speed trapped inside the body of a tight end. Add in a massive 43.5-inch vertical jump, and you have a player who can jump right over NFL linebackers. And he does all of this standing 6'3" and weighing 222 pounds. During his final season with the Oregon Ducks, Sadiq was an absolute wrecking ball. He pulled in 51 catches for 560 yards and 8 touchdowns. But the stats do not even begin to tell the full story. It is all about the mismatches. You can line him up absolutely anywhere on the gridiron. Put him in line, split him out wide, or use him as a big slot receiver. The moment he steps on the field, he creates an immediate coverage disaster for the defense. Linebackers are way too slow to keep up with his 4.39 speed, and safeties are way too small to handle his elite leaping ability and massive frame. Top draft analysts are practically begging the Ravens to make this pick. Dane Brugler over at The Athletic recently dropped a full 7-round mock draft and had Sadiq landing right in Baltimore's lap. Legendary draft guru Mel Kiper Jr. was even more blunt about the situation. Kiper simply stated that surrounding your franchise quarterback with elite weapons is the only guaranteed formula for winning Lombardi trophies. Both of these experts are convinced that spending a premium first-round pick on Sadiq is an absolute no-brainer. Plus, there is a massive storyline brewing behind the scenes that makes this pick even more urgent. With the insane rumors swirling around that Isaiah likely is packing his bags and heading to New York alongside John Harbaugh, the Ravens are staring down a huge void in their offensive scheme. They are about to lose a dynamic, versatile tight end who thrives on creating mismatches. Kenyon Sadiq would not just be a replacement, he would be a massive, premium upgrade. Who's to blame for this roster turnover? Drop a name below. Let me know in the comments if you think the front office is messing up or making genius moves. But all of these insane roster additions might just be completely overshadowed by a massive secret the franchise has been fiercely guarding for 3 whole years. You won't believe what Lamar and the squad are wearing next. The 3-year secret, while the front office is busy transforming the actual talent on the field, the most shocking change in Baltimore might be happening purely on a visual level. Get ready, because the Ravens are about to debut a totally revamped look. Way back in December of 2022, the Ravens quietly launched a massive rebranding project. It was a covert operation that basically nobody in the public eye knew about. Now, 3 long years later, the ultimate result is finally here. The team is officially going to enter the 2026 NFL season rocking a completely redesigned visual identity. Brad Downs, the team's vice president of marketing, recently revealed just how deep this secret operation went. For years, only 4 single people inside the entire Ravens organization had any clue this was happening. It was just Downs, team president Sasha Brown, the head equipment manager, and the VP of brand strategy. That is it. They kept this under lock and key. It is an absolute masterclass in secrecy, especially in an era where literally everything leaks online. Not a single photo, sketch, or rumor hit social media before the team was ready to unveil it to the world. So, what exactly are the Ravens changing? Everything. They are introducing a brand new iridescent purple color that pops under the stadium lights like nothing you have ever seen. They are dropping not 1, but 2 completely new helmets. The new jerseys feature fierce raven wings detailed right on the collar, sharp diagonal stripes slicing down the pants, and totally redesigned jersey numbers that look incredibly modern. But the real showstopper is the brand new matte black helmet. This thing looks incredibly intimidating, but the crazy part is that it was almost completely scrapped during the final year of the design process. The executives were terrified it might be too radical. When reporters asked the design team to rate the massive scale of this change on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being a tiny tweak and 10 being the blinding neon green uniforms in Seattle, all 4 executives agreed it was a solid 4 or 5. They desperately wanted to push the franchise into the future and give the players some fresh swagger, but they absolutely refused to commit a betrayal against their classic, hard-hitting Baltimore identity. The moment the players finally saw these new threads, the locker room absolutely erupted. Star linebacker Roquan Smith simply smiled from ear to ear, calling the entire collection unbelievable. Zay Flowers lost his mind and yelled out a reaction that was way too explicit to repeat right now, but let's just say he was hyped. The players agreed that these look so unbelievably clean. The front office made it super clear. They did not want to change just for the sake of selling jerseys. They wanted to upgrade the look properly and honor the city. Now, I want to hear exactly what you think about all of this. If you were the general manager, would you pull the trigger and use that 14th overall pick on Kenyon Sadiq to guarantee a dominant passing attack, or would you hold off and grab 2 cheaper tight ends later in the draft? And what about Jordyn Tyson? Is his massive potential worth gambling on despite that terrifying injury history, or are you staying far away from him in the first round? Finally, are you rocking with these new iridescent purple uniforms, Or should the Ravens have stuck with the classic, old-school look? Get down in the comments right now and let your voice be heard. Real football talk never stops, and I will be reading every single response.